Hey guys, good night, good morning, good afternoon maybe for some of you. I don't think is afternoon time for any of my members. It's either good morning or good night, I think. Guys, I don't have a lot of time. Gotta go to bed really early today, as fast as I can. But I have zero preparation for tomorrow, and I know that when I come home for lunch, I'm not gonna have a lot of time to look at the charts. So this is basically a quick stream to mark out levels, set alerts, and basically have my bias already defined when New York session starts. So let's jump right in. I'm gonna probably have to change some things here because some things are already irrelevant, such as on the previous week. Um, I'm very proud of this. You can check out the Discord and what we had there at the time, the posts that we had there at the time. This this red doodle here is what I had in mind for this upcoming week. Uh, I think I can, pretty sure. I can say that I nailed it. So let me remove that. We don't need this TR pocket anymore. We also don't need this equal lows mentioned, this and the previous day VWAP and that level. So basically the bias that we have right now is that we came to the previous day VWAP and range POC that I had in mind after uh, going for this 4-hour FVG and then eventually reacting to this range area on top. Um, and eventually from there we started tumbling down to our key level here. So the question now is if this will hold, uh, or if we use this as the start of a dead cat bounce move. In my opinion, all of these levels, well, a big bunch of them don't look too good to hold for a long time, but that doesn't stop us from potentially moving lower, right? Um, this was, in essence, the place that I wanted to look for longs anyway, um, and basically, while and if we keep maintaining a bullish change of structure, which it kind of already happened on the 4-hour, kind of, because we can still make a lower low when reaching these levels here. Sorry, we can still make a lower high when reaching these levels here, as such as, you know, such as something like that. For the time being and for a very short term, I'm thinking longs, at least until we get to this area. So first of all, let me check on the 15-minute. What levels do we have here and mark them out. So we have the previous day view up there, also with a naked point of control. Sorry, wrong one. And we also have that on top. Right now, this is a Sunday view up, so I'm not going to care too much about it, but I will want to mark out the Friday's anchored view up of the New York session. Okay. And so that takes us to my first level of interest, which is essentially this 15-minute order block. I hope the music is not too loud. Let me lower that a bit. Okay. Now, even if that fails, I'll still look for a potential long here. So I'm gonna mark out these two guys, and essentially I'm gonna be looking at them only for reactions, not setting limits here, because we have to keep in mind that there's a possibility of this being I said this previous week, but I just want to remind you, since we had 3 perfect levels, we can also have 3 moves down now. Alright? Keep that in mind. So if that happens, it will still be possible that, in my mind, it'll still be possible that we come, for example, for one of these highs, this one or that one, and still start or restart in this case, restart a move down. Ideally, if Bitcoin is really bullish, if there's market sentiment strong enough to push it up, I don't think that we have to go lower than this, but still, we still have to go lower than this area. My preferred area for a very strong bullish continuation would be around 97-ish. Starting from that area, 97k, I would look for a long trade. But until then, all my longs will be very cautious, very cautious, and will be monitored. I don't think we can just leave trades open, thinking about a long-term move right now. In any case, okay, so first target 107,228 seems a very probable event, or a very probable magnet, not only because we have the previous day VWAP and naked point of control, but also an untested FVG over there, which is also a vector. Now, also keep in mind that we do have a small gap, not too big, but it's still considerable. Oh, give me a second. This is not here. This is supposed to be here. Alright, never mind. This always happens to me. It's really weird. Yeah. I really have to research why this happens. Upon the change of the week, going from one week to another, everything that I set up on the chart using the contract changes adjustment, the next week they all misalign. And then if I deactivate BADJ, they go back to the positions that I set in the previous week. But that's the thing, it's always from one week to another. That explains the contract change adjustment, but I would like to know, why does TradingView well, lose the position? So anyway, let's keep this like that, but now let me readjust my lines, because this is basically one of the reasons that I had for us moving down, coming to the range POC and everything. And right now we don't have much of a gap, but it's still a gap, and it's one of the biases that I'm thinking that we have to come a bit lower, just to fill the CME gap. Once we get here, I'm gonna be interested in this area from here to here, and a POC of that volume profile is here, 105,255 on CME. So that would be what time frame was I on there? Let me just set up. Let me check where Friday is. Okay, that is over there. This move is from 19 to the end of day, so 7 p.m. to end of day. Seven p.m. end of day. So that level will be 104,721. Okay, so it's kind of the top of the first order block that I was looking at, right? That's essentially gonna be my first point of interest. I'm gonna set an alert there. Uh, I'm thinking if I post this on the community just as is, people will be like, why the hell did he place a range POC from way back there? Anyway, actually, that might be a good idea because that might create some curiosity. Let me just start the post because I always start it at the end. Okay. So essentially, what we're looking for is something not exactly like this. This is just the overall idea. But something kind of like this. In terms of trade ideas, something kind of like this. I'm saying kind of because I'm not sure if this will be a good entrance or as an SFP of that low over there, the low of the order block. Really depends. I'll just start. I will start to look for trades on that level. All right, that's all. But that's gonna be my bias for Monday and Tuesday potentially. Kind of depends. Maybe mostly for Monday. Why Monday? Monday is very often a fake move, kind of like a fake out of the week to start off the week. And a lot of times, if Monday goes up, then for the next 3 days or 2 days, we go down, and vice versa. So, paired with the anchored view up from Friday, the order block that I marked, plus the range POC of what we can see on on CME, and also the CME gap. Yeah, this looks like a good area to look for longs or start looking for longs. This all this look these highs over here, they do look very juicy. Oh, you have a gap over there. Interesting. Where is that? That's from Tuesday, end of day Tuesday. Well, let's go back. Let's mark that out. It's here, right? Huh. It's where we have another previous day view up. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. We have a gap from here to here. That's actually pretty cool. Gives us a bias for a long continuation. Okay, so let me post that instead. Or instead or together. Alright, saving. Next. Yen. I had a nice trade going on. Closed it just before coming on stream. Let me see if I can show you where from. It looks so tiny from here. Alright, when on Friday, when we reacted from, this is an inverted FEG on the 15 minutes that I only saw later, and then as we started going up and up and up, we took these previous highs, and here we created this inverted FEG, which resulted in a small change of structure. When this happened, and also when this happened here, I entered a trade. And my target was actually to come to 143,437, and I still think we are going to. But this morning when we opened, today when we opened, we had a considerable gap, and when that happens, generally we tend to reverse for the duration of Asia, and that would remove all of my profit because my entry is over here. So not very interested in losing all of the profits from that. When New York starts, I will be looking for trades to target this low once again. I do think that the low is probable in order to reach this area over here, because we changed structure on a whole lot of levels. I have so many anchored view ups right now, they're unnecessary. Actually, this chart has to be cleaned, but I'm not gonna do it right now. I'll do that in New York session tomorrow. I mean later. So let's just set up the anchored view up over there. Alright. So first of all, this high has to go. It just has to go. After it is taken, I have to reassess if we have enough power to continue moving up. If we are coming up for one of these inverted FEGs, if we are coming up to this range over here, like it's very uncertain in my eyes right now, but my bias is maintained with the logic of coming down to here. Not really sure what might happen after that. Anyway, let me just set up this naked view up, point of control, nice confluence there. Let me see. TR, does it give me anything? Well, gives me the 618 at the naked view up. That's interesting enough. Okay. Oh, by the way, and okay, 1272 where I want as well. And let me check the range profile here because it might sync up with 618. Okay, I don't get the POC setting up with the 618, but I do get the range value very high. I'm gonna set that up, I like that. Okay, and I think that's it. I'm gonna take this guy out. I might leave the TR there just to remind me where I got these levels. Let me just remove these guys, the internal ones. We don't need them. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna add anything to this. And we can also remove anything inside here, except I just removed the anchored view up. Wait. Alright, done. We can also maybe have an anchored view from that top. Oops. Got it. Not very relevant. It was just nice for that height to be touched. Sorry. It was nice for that anchored view to get that high retouch, and that's it. Okay, not gonna use this one. What about the low? Because we have a lower low, don't we? Yeah. Syncing with that. And from here. Oof, this sucks. We're kind of right in the middle of everywhere. Middle of everywhere. That sounds weird, but yeah. This is not bad. Okay. In any case, this is the I was using the 3 hour instead of the 4 hour, whatever. In any case, I do want to come here because of this. And then essentially, this is a 4 hour order block, right? It's actually an alpha block, but I don't even talk about them anymore. They're just blocks. Alright. Yeah, I like this. I like this. 1618 right here. 618 right there. I like that. I'm gonna sync that up. Next, NQ, really quickly. I gotta go. I'm really sleepy. I feel really tired. Alright. Oh yeah, I pretty much had the. Oh, this is beautiful. What a touch. How how can that be so perfect? It's such a small inverted FEG. What the hell? So small. So small in the 4 hour, but still super small. Was that an anchored view up touch? Kind of. Okay, so now we have this 4 hour inverted FEG. So we're also right in the middle. TR pocket may be relevant here as well. This is not relevant anymore. This was really nice. Okay. This line also not relevant anymore. I'm still gonna keep this last order block for the same reason as Bitcoin. Naked point of control also not relevant anymore. Was a good plug-in reaction though. Jesus, that was quite intense, huh? Okay, so let's go on to 15. New levels, are they? Yes, they are. Previous day view up here. Really close. I'm looking at this guy over here. Not sure if it's a good idea, but anchored from the bottom. I'm gonna set up a standard one for this. Okay, also not sure how relevant this is, but It's perfectly aligned with the view up though. Scary alignment actually. There's another one down there, didn't see that. But this, I think coming here would be a bit bearish. Normal Fibonacci. 618 on that block. Okay, let's keep it like that. I don't think I want to look at a lot more for us to. I think it's obvious that we have to come up. The previous day view up looks juicy, and this order block, I don't know, seems interesting. Has a nice Fibonacci level. I'm gonna keep that. And ideally, the target is the same as last week to get up to that previous day view up. So the logic is still to go up as in last week's idea. Okay, let me post it like that. Because this way I have the TR pocket together with the normal Fibonacci. And that is it, guys. That is it. I'm not gonna Jesus. I'm not gonna complicate more than this. Tomorrow I'll be online for the New York Open as usual. So I'll see you guys. Sleep well, have a good night. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? Bye bye. Cheers.